Fashion design is a career path with endless opportunities for growth, making a difference, and also making good money while making a difference. In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about how to start your fashion design journey in whatever country you're located in. If you'll be interested in hearing all I have to say about this topic of delving into the world of fashion design, please continue to watch. If this is your first time seeing me, hello, my name is Funmibi Olawore. I am a fashion enthusiast based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I like to come on my channel to talk all things relating to fashion design, beading and embellishment, and other fascinating topics surrounding fashion, embellishment, and the likes. If any of these things sound fabulous to you, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. Remember to turn on your post notifications so you'll be the first to know every single time I post a new video. Don't hesitate to also drop me your thoughts, comment, suggestion down in the comment section. All right, how to start off in fashion design. I've divided the steps that you need to take into 9 bullet points, and I'm going to list them on the screen. The first thing you want to do is to learn the basics, define your niche, create a business plan, register your business, build your brand, source for materials and accessories, start from where you are, promote your business, and expand your business. To the first point, when it comes to learning the basics, is as simple as it sounds. Learn the basics of fashion design. First of all, determine what aspect of fashion design you want to delve into. Do you want to go into dressmaking? Do you want to become a stylist? Do you want to become a beader or fabric embellisher? Do you want to be a fabric seller? Learn the basics of whatever aspect of fashion design you want to get into. And when it comes to learning the basics, you can either go to a properly regulated institution or decide to intern with someone who has experience in this line of work. In my own case, I decided to go to fashion school in 2019, and I decided to learn the basics with someone that owns a fashion business, and I picked a lot during my time in fashion school. While learning the basics through whatever means you have decided to choose, make sure that you're practicing a lot. Practice, they say, makes perfect. While at it as well, you want to make sure that you understand the markets that you're trying to get into. Try to understand the fashion design markets in your location. For example, if you're located in a place like Canada, you want to understand what people enjoy wearing when it comes to fashion in Canada. If you're located in West Africa, Europe, Asia, anywhere you are, try to understand the fashion design market in that location. The next thing you want to do is to define your niche. And when it comes to niching down, you want to determine what aspect of fashion design in particular you want to specialize in. Do you want to be a bespoke outfit maker? Do you want to be a casual dresses maker? Do you want to go into ready-to-wear fashion? Do you want to go into beading and embellishment alone? Do you want to become a milliner, a fascinator maker? Whatever it is that you have decided to go into, you need to clearly define it for yourself and stick with it for starters. Next thing, you want to properly choose a target market. Okay, you want to have your target audience when it comes to the service and the products that you're going to be making in your fashion business. You also want to determine the style of your designs. How do you want your designs to look? Do you want your designs to be loud? Do you want them to be conservative? Sit down with yourself and determine what exactly you want your style to be. On to the next step, creating a business plan. When it comes to creating your business plan, you want to do a lot of thinking and strategizing, creating a budget for your business and how you plan to fund the business, as well as the pricing for your products that you make in your fashion business. When it comes to creating a goal, you want to sit down with yourself, determine how you want your customers to feel after wearing your stuff, or how you want your clients to feel after patronizing you and experiencing the service that you have provided. When it also comes to budgeting and funding, you want to determine how you plan to fund your business. Where is the money that you're going to use in buying your tools and accessories going to come from? Do you want it to come from your paying clients? Do you want to use some of your savings? Do you want to ask around from family members and friends? How exactly do you want to fund the business? Because the business is not going to start from scratch per se. You need your equipment. Someone that wants to be a dressmaker needs a sewing machine. You need your serger, you need your needle, thread, things like that. You need them, and those things cost money. You need to determine where the money for those things will come from. When it comes to pricing as well, when you make dresses for people, how much do you want to charge them for the kind of dresses that you plan to make in your business? All of these questions need to be answered when coming up with a business plan in general. Registering your business, this is something that I highly recommend. Even if you feel like you don't have a lot of customers just yet and your business is still growing, I suggest that you add registering your business to the things that you have outlined for yourself in your journey to creating the strong brand that you plan to create for yourself. For me personally, in my own case, when I got my business to the stage where I felt ready to offer services to people, one of the first steps that I took was to register my business. And I believe I made a video about it on the channel. When you go through my channel to the early days of my business in Nigeria, you see that I talked about how I went to register my business. You need to do your research depending on your location. Find out how to register a business in your location and get straight into it. Next thing is to build your brand, okay? And with the way the world is set up now in 2025, one of the major tools you want to take advantage of is social media. Social media is becoming popular every single day. The first thing you want to do is to choose a name, okay? Build a brand and stick with it, okay? Don't be the kind of person that keeps switching their name every 2 business days. Choose a name for your business and stick with it. You also want to create a brand identity for yourself. You want a particular idea to pop up in people's head when they think of your name. Building a brand is not something you want to do overnight. It's something that takes a while. For me now, I feel like when people think of my name, they think YouTube, they think of that girl that talks about fashion and embellishment on YouTube, the girl that does beading tutorials and embellishment tutorials on YouTube. You want your name or your brand name to be tied to a particular thing when people think about you. That's what branding is all about. And you need to make sure that when people are thinking of your brand, it's something positive that comes to mind. You don't want to be the kind of person that when people think of you, is negative voices that pop up in their head when they think of your business or think of your name. That's just something that you need to take note of while also in the process of creating your brand. You also want to create something like a logo. You want a business logo, for example. With tools such as AliExpress and printers around you, you can create a logo and then make sure that those logos just stick to your products. When you watch my headband tutorials, you see that I used to stick my logo to the headpieces that I used to make for people back then. Another thing you want to also do is to create a collection of designs, okay? That's what the early stages of your business is all about. You need to start making pieces. Don't get tired. If you are trying to grow something sustainable, a lot of hard work is going to go into it. Create collections, do shoots either with yourself or with models, and take pictures of the things that you have created. That is how you are going to attract customers. When I was still making headpieces actively, I used to just sometimes randomly just make headpieces, wear them on myself, take pictures, post online, with the hopes of getting people to just be interested in those designs and patronizing me. And that used to work a lot for me. When I make any video about any headpieces that I've made for myself at the time and I take a picture and post online, best believe that someone is always going to patronize me. I used to get clients from YouTube on here, from Instagram, from TikTok, and I used to get money from those clients. So in the early stages, don't be afraid to use yourself as a lab rat or get models. If you have a sister, a friend that likes to do stuff like this with you, just beg them, tell them, oh, I made this dress, can you wear it? Can I take pictures of you? And a lot of us, we just need to ask. A lot of us have people around us that are willing to help us on the journey to achieving all of our dreams. Sourcing for materials and equipment is another thing you need to do. And when it comes to this, it's from going outside, going to the market, that you're going to start to meet vendors. Okay, you can't sit down in your house and be hoping for vendors to come and meet you in your sitting room. Go to the market, meet people, ask questions, buy things, see how those things perform, and decide if you want to stick with those vendors or you want to go to another place. Back when I was in Port Harcourt, you guys know that me and Room Massey Market, we were in a serious relationship. I used to go to the market almost every week, and one of my suppliers then was Mr. Okoro. I met Mr. Okoro from going to the market. If I'd been sitting in my house in Port Harcourt and hoping for the best, I would probably not have known about him. And I got fantastic deals from Mr. Okoro at the time, and even a lot of you guys watching me knew about Mr. Okoro from this channel. When it comes to someone like Mr. Chibike, Charity, Email One, all of these people, I met them from going to the market, patronizing them, enjoying the products that I got from them, and sticking with them. By the time you start to expand your business, when your business becomes a strong brand, maybe something like what we have in Nigeria with designers like Vicky James, Tubo Bereni, Imagine by Bukola, Becca Needles and Stitches. Some of these fashion designers go as far as having vendors outside the country. Someone like Vicky, she has vendors in countries like Turkey, China, and the rest. You see those vendors making fabrics for her, customizing fabrics for her for the kind of designs that she comes online to make. Okay, but start from where you are. I'm not saying go and start sourcing for vendors in Turkey and all these other countries. Start from where you are in your immediate environment. Start sourcing, start getting people that are trusted, that will sell you quality tools, quality accessories for your business. When I also bought my sewing machine, I had to go to somewhere called D-Line in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria, where I used to live. And that was how I found a vendor that was into selling sewing machines and sewing equipment in general at that time. So I said all of this to say, do your research in your local vicinity and find trusted vendors that will sell good quality equipment and accessories to you while building your fashion brand. Start small. That's something I always say. Start from where you are. If you keep saying, oh, I don't have this space, oh, I don't have the money, oh, I don't have the equipment, you will never start. Start from where you are. When I was starting my beading business, I started with literally all that I had, and when the money started coming in gradually, I kept on going back to reinvest into my business. So don't be afraid to start small. Start from where you are. Start with the little things that you have going for you. And when it also comes to starting, you can even create a plan for yourself. Say, oh, this month or this for the next 3 months, I want to intern, I want to learn. For the next 4 months, I want to start strategizing, I want to start practicing. Oh, in 2026, that's when I actively want to start my fashion business. Now is the time to draw up a plan for yourself and start from wherever you are. The next thing you want to do is to promote your business. Don't be afraid to promote your business, okay? You are the one that owns this dream, so you should literally carry it like a child, carry it like your baby, and promote it aggressively. Use social media among your friends and family. Talk about your business. Let them know what you're doing and let them know that you're willing to offer your services to them. Make things for yourself, wear those things, and when people admire those things on you, tell them, oh, I made it, I can make it for you. This is how much it's going to cost if you want me to make it for you. Something else that I want to point, especially for the people in their early stages, this is one of the mistakes that I made back in the day. Don't be too quick to tell people the cost of your service without doing proper homework on how much it's actually going to cost you. I see a lot of situations where people have decided to make something for people, and then they find out that the price that they told their family or their friends or whoever it is that asked them for the cost of their service is not making sense at the end of the day. They have basically shortchanged themselves when it comes to pricing. Make sure that you think carefully before coming up with a price for the service that you're about to offer, and make sure that the service that you're offering and the amount you're charging, they are kind of aligning properly. Don't charge people an amount that does not equate the quality of the item that they've received from you. I'm just going to cite an example at this point. If you've told someone, oh, you are into making embellished dresses, you can do this and that. Oh, if I embellish this dress for you, you're going to love it, this and that. And you tell them, for example, I'm going to charge you, say, $3,000, for example, to embellish that dress. Make sure that the quality of embellishments they are receiving from you is truly worth $3,000. And if you are charging them $300, know that the quality of embellishment they are getting is worth $300. Don't charge people $3,000 and then the quality of the embellishments that you are doing for them is not even up to $100. And don't charge people $300. Meanwhile, you are investing $3,000, $5,000 into the embellishment that you're creating for them. Just make it make sense. That's all that I'm trying to say. Don't overcharge and don't undercharge yourself. And all of this comes from experience. This is why I always preach the gospel of going to fashion school and interning in a proper fashion establishment, so you learn the ropes before going ahead to create a business for yourself. Don't be in a hurry to start charging people and start owning a business and owning a client. If you have the opportunity, learn the ropes. Learn the basics before going ahead to stand on your own. When we look at people like Vicky James, she had the privilege of learning the ropes of fashion design from someone like her mom who owned a fashion business. And you see people like Matopeda Atelier. She talks about how she interned in a fashion house in the UK before going ahead to now separate herself and create our own fashion brand. So I said all of this to say, don't be in a hurry to blow. A lot of us in this generation, this microwave generation, are in a hurry to become the next Vicky James overnight, become the next Imagine by Bukola overnight, but they've not done the groundwork. I just thought to emphasize on this point. The final thing is to expand your business. Expand your business. And this expansion is going to come from promoting your business. When you promote your business and you started attracting good quality customers and they're paying and you're making the shmoney, don't be afraid to expand. And expansion can look like hiring people, hire bidders. You've been the one bidding your dresses right from the start of your business. Now that expansion has come and you have a lot of customers now and the demand is high, get good quality professionals into your business. Get bidders, get assistants, receptionists, cleaners. Don't be the one cleaning, making videos, bidding, embellishing. You are going to burn out, and it's almost impossible to do all of these things as a one-man army. Don't be afraid to expand and just create room for additional growth in your business. I hope you found all of these tips useful. If you did, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Like I said before, if this is your first time seeing me, hello, my name is Funmibi Olawore, a fashion enthusiast based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I like to come on here to talk all things fashion, beading and embellishment, self-improvement, and all that jazz on this channel. If all of these things sound fabulous to you, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notification, be sure to hit the thumbs up button on this video. And yeah, friends, I can't wait to see you all in another amazing video very, very soon. Bye.